Hello, 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 hello. It is your boy Mike, and this is my Raptors slash NBA podcast for the week. Normally do a Raptors podcast, but decided to also include some NBA conversations. As this week was, All Star Weekend, I'm confident a lot of people enjoyed it. I also feel there's a lot of complaints. This year we've had a lot of complaints, kind of the same old complaints that have been there for the All Star game multiple times. I just finished listening to JJ Redick's not podcast, but the portion of his podcast where he talked about All Star. I also listened to Nick Wright just now and his little conversation about the All Star game and the problems that he sees. And quite frankly, I think they're both nailing it. I think the premise of what these guys are saying is true. Like it's true. The premise of the All Star game, it's honestly true. I get it. I think they're right, and I'll kind of dive into what I kind of believe because I kind of think it's yeah. I think there's some value to what they're saying. Before I say all that, make sure you guys make sure you guys subscribe. Um, let's just keep the channel going. Let's just keep growing and keep talking ball because we all love talking ball. Don't know how long this podcast will go. Every time I say that, I end up talking for like 30 minutes, but I don't believe that will be the case this time. Got a lot to say, probably not have a lot of time to say, but that doesn't matter. Let's just talk about ball. Tell me what you guys think. Subscribe, comment on your thoughts of the All Star game. Raptor fans, comment on the Raptors. If you're any other fan, comment. Let's just chat it out. So let's talk about the All Star game. All Star game slash All Star weekend overall. I've always I love this kind of time of the year. I'm also a wrestling fan, so when January hits, it just feels like. And if you're an entertainment fan in general, you will get the Emmys, you'll get the Grammys, you get Royal Rumble comes along, then you get the All Star Weekend, then you get Super Bowl, then you get All Star Weekend, and then I feel like it all ends with like WrestleMania for some reason, and I feel like it just does. But it all ends up in April WrestleMania. But then you get somehow the playoffs come in, and I just like this kind of portion of entertainment and sports, it's nice. Now All Star Weekend, you know, I thought everything was kind of like the skills competition was okay. I know a lot of people have been talking about letting that go. I wouldn't say I would let it go. I kind of liked it back in the day when it was an NBA player, a WNBA player, and a legend all going against each other, all doing like certain things. I think one time it was like, I want to say it was Dominique, Chris Bosh, and like Sun Cash on a team. I think they won. If not, I think Chris Bosh won one year. I just kind of like that. I think it's cool. It's also gets people to see certain WNBA players you've never seen before, never heard about. Some people only know the few. They know the Candace Parkers, they know Brianna Stewart, but they know. But do you know like for the five starters of the WNBA team that won the title, the Aces? Like, do you know? Do you know Kelsey Plum? Do you know AJ Wilson? Asia Wilson, not AJ, Asia Wilson. Like, do you know? Do you know about Jocko Jones being traded, going to like all these things? Like, it's an MVP person. This is it's like it's not as equivalent, but it's an MVP player going to a team, especially a big bright lights team in New York, and that's like KD going to Phoenix. Like, I think the All Star Weekend it brings you that when you have like WNBA players, you have a vet who you've never seen before, like a Dominique comes, or you bring back Vince or bring back Tracy. Like it brings a lot of the younger viewers back. So that's what kind of would like to see come back. Having everyone just faces the Tentacumpos is just kind of weird. And I don't get why again we had the Tentacumpos. To me, like I like the fact you pick the rookies, the Jazz, maybe pick some other. I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird, but whatever. Or making it an actual event, like go 3-on-3, like legit go 3-on-3. Pick three guys from each team to do a bunch of contests, like the one they did, like something like that, like would be kind of fun, and almost do a tournament for like three three rounds, but make all rounds a little different. Which I think that's what they did. They did first round was like dribbling, then there was passing, but literally have like a bunch of rounds. Have every team pick three guys, like go make it go 3 hours or something. I think it could be fun, especially if they have like 3 point contests and things like that. I don't know. That's my thought process. The 3 point shooting was fun in the first round. I think the second round, when it was the finals, it's kind of like Dame, Tyrese Halliburton really just had a hot streak. It sucked. Some players you kind of want to see do well. The only gripe I have, honestly, is that only three guys make it to the finals. I kind of like the thought of making it four, then making it two, then making it one. That's how I would like to see it. But that's my thought process of how this. That's how I think it should go. But 3 point contest has always been kind of fun, especially when they go on a heater. It's always good to see. Halliburton, once I think he just showed out. I think everyone will know who Halliburton is. Dame was that guy at the end of the day. Dame is just that guy. I didn't even say the Utah Jazz team won with Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, and who was their third? Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, and I'm forgetting their and Colin Sexton. Um, well, which is a good squad. I think the 3 point shooting was just so awful by the other two teams, so which kind of sucked. But the rookies did not do well, which was very unfortunate. But yeah, so then you have the dunk contest, which was good. It was good. It was a good dunk contest. More like Mac McClung just did his thing. I was watching him like this guy's gonna win. He's been doing this for some time now. He's a really good dunker. You expect all that. So I knew he was gonna win. I wish I bet on it. Like he was gonna win that. And saying that, people are talking about LeBron. I didn't even watch it, but I saw like Stephen A. blame LeBron, which I understand the premise. I didn't even watch it, but I don't know what he said exactly. But in saying all that, I can see the whole thought of blaming LeBron for things, and it also comes to the fact of blaming Jordan, and it comes to the ring culture, which was exactly what JJ Redick said, exactly what Nick Wright said, and I 1,000% agree. Now the All Star game, Jason Tatum scored what 55. It was it wasn't as fun as especially the ending. Like it's like LeBron's team just didn't want to play. Legit, LeBron's team didn't want to play, and that was kind of weird. Um, that was really weird. I really thought LeBron's team was gonna want to play, but they didn't. I feel like if LeBron was on, he would have played. And a lot of people they want both. They want it to be entertaining, but they also want them to fight really hard. But the owners and the players don't want to get hurt. So it's kind of like everyone. But I feel like in All Star games we don't see a lot of guys get hurt. So I kind of think like I don't believe in the '90s they were going that hard. They weren't like fouling Jordan when he was driving. I don't believe they were doing any of that stuff. I think the creation of the 3 point shot has changed the scoring. So I can see why, you look at Jason Tatum's score, you're like, oh, is that really real? But yeah, with the 3 point shot and guys shooting at the rate that they do it, kind of makes sense with the lack of defense. So I'm not really thinking that the scoring is the problem, but I would like to see a little bit more defense. I would like to see. Once again, to me, what you do, I kind of like the way hockey does it when they make divisions go against other divisions, and to me, make it an all day thing. Like, make it from 5 o'clock to 11. Like, you're gonna make the Atlantic Division face the Pacific Division. Make this division like let's do it. I know there's six divisions, so you have to kind of work it all out. But what you could do, this is just my thought process. Whatever division has the highest records going into the All Star break, they have a bye. So then you would have like I think right now I think probably the Atlantic Division is pretty good, and they would have a bye, and then I believe like the you know what I have the standings up. I can just do this live. Let's go divisionally, and this is I'm not even calculating it all, but like right now, like the whole division is in playoffs, and then it would be probably the Pacific. Oh no no, it would be let's see, it would be the Northwestern Division. I believe would have them more wins just by looking at it. Looks like they have more wins, so they would have a bye, and the Line Division would have a bye. So then it goes Central versus Southwest. So then it's like a team of, and I mean like you go like 10 deep if you want. You can put Zach Levine in, but then I know everyone's gonna be like, okay, then there's multiple All Stars. Then the All Star being an All Star becomes a little, you know, it just becomes bad. Who in Detroit comes? Do you bring Jaden Ivey? Is he considered an all star? So I can see it from that standpoint. It wouldn't be the greatest because you probably want to have a player from each team. Arguably, you may want to have two players from each team. And does Detroit really deserve two players? Most likely not. So I can see where it's there. Like in Charlotte, you want to see Ball. But other than that, but you don't want to see anyone else. So I can see that no one really in Houston you want to see. So that's where there's a problem with that, right? You don't want to see every single player from every single team. But if you also want to like start marketing the league as not with players and with teams, you may want to do that too because this league is marketed as players, a player league, right? You know who LeBron is, but you care for LeBron. You don't care for the Lakers. It's one of those things. Like me, I care for LeBron. I don't care for the Lakers at all. Um, but if you want to start showing that it's a league that cares about the teams and like the way the NFL does, we do something like that. That's an idea that I was thinking. But overall, going into my major point, going into my major point about it all, about talking about what to make of the All Star game, how to make it better, and what the actual problem is. How to make it better, there's, of course, we can want them to play more defense. I kind of like the set score. I love the Elam ending. Like, I think this year was not great. I don't know what happened this year. Once again, I think LeBron's team just didn't want to play well. I don't know what happened there. And saying all that, what has happened to the All Star game? I feel like one of the last times I saw it was competitive was when Russell Westbrook won the MVP. And what everyone's saying is true. Reason why guys don't want to the 3 point contest, I think you're more willing to lose because 3 points are like almost a game of chance. And why Zion or Ja or back of course LeBron, all these guys don't want to join is because of the fact of like I think JJ Redick said it. When something goes wrong, it's clipped, it's reclipped, it's on House of Highlights, it's on Beachler Report, it's on ESPN, it's on Sports Center, it's on for Toronto, Canadian people, it's on The Score, it's on TSN, it's on Sportsnet, it's everywhere. It's on your friend's phone, it's on your mom's phone, it's on your cousin's phone, it's on everybody's phone. So now everyone knows. People don't even have to watch the sport to be like, oh man, they messed up a lot. Like LeBron can't go on it anymore. He can't be in the dunk contest. I agree. He should. It would be fun. Maybe he does it for his last season. Maybe he just does it for fun to be like, I'm still athletic. But if he loses, everyone's gonna be like, well, LeBron tried, and like literally, and this continues to say what the problem is. What like Nick Wright was saying, let's say a ring culture thing. The ring culture is what's the problem with this whole thing. It's the ring culture that's the problem with the All Star game. Is problem with the NBA currently is every time something happens, we go, oh, this person has this much rings. We're always trying to compete. Oh, this player was better. This player was better. We just don't let the game happen. We don't enjoy things anymore. We have to compare it to something else. LeBron becomes an all time NBA scorer, leading scorer. He becomes that. The first thing people are saying, "Whoa, that makes him go." That makes him. We didn't even enjoy the moment that was in front of us. We didn't enjoy the moment that was in front of us. We refused to enjoy the moment in front of us. The fact that we were watching. This is what doesn't make sense. We are currently watching a living legend, a legend doing a legendary things, scoring a shot that made him the NBA has been existing the 75 past years, right? 75 years the NBA has been existing. And LeBron James, we are currently in history. I didn't watch Kareem. I'm definitely not the age to have watched Kareem play. I did not watch him. I barely watched or barely saw Jordan play. I more saw his 01 with like the Wizards, man. That's where my brain is at. So you're telling me that I got to see a man in his 20th year become the all-time NBA leader in scoring. That is like crazy that I got to witness that. Something that like I may not witness someone break it. Maybe my kids won't witness someone break it. That is what I want to say is crazy that we saw someone break this record. A record that most people thought wasn't going to be broken, but still, in saying that, he is 4 of 6 in the NBA Finals. That's what we talked about. That's what Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is one of the biggest trolls, and he said it. He's 4 of 6. He commented the whole single time LeBron was doing his thing. Negative comment, negative comment, negative comment, negative comment. Nick Wright said that Patrick Mahomes was, in his 5 years, could be one of the best, if not the best NFL players of all time with his resume currently. And still, all people talk about was Brady. We're not enjoying the moment. Even Nick Wright didn't enjoy the moment. I thought what he's saying was true about the ring culture, but even at that moment, we didn't enjoy it. We couldn't just enjoy the fact that a team won the Super Bowl. It was already, oh, Patrick Mahomes is better. I even watched it and thought to myself, you know who should be disappointed in themselves? Aaron Rodgers. I said it. Aaron Rodgers should be disappointed. He should be disappointed. I said it once it happened, but I was like, oh man, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I should actually just enjoy what we're witnessing right now. But it's hard with the ring culture and with the way everything is. It's so difficult to enjoy what you're watching. So these guys are playing the All Star game. These guys can care. They don't want to get dunked on. Not with another All Star guy dunked. It happens in game. It is what it is. He's gonna try to get dunked on. They don't want to get injured. LeBron legit got injured during the game. I always said the guys really don't get injured, but LeBron actually did get injured. His pinky. But I do think if LeBron was playing, he would have went way harder. These guys would actually try a little bit harder. At one point, this became a Boston effect where, these guys weren't trying so hard. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the Burna Boy performance in the middle that got these guys tired. They were like, let's let this game go. Let's just all have fun. All these guys want to just take a break and just relax and chill. But they didn't have that moment. So it's weird. Like you look at this All Star game, it was fun, it was cool, but of course it was just missing. It was missing that extra umph, right? And that's just because these guys are not trying to try. Because a lot of these guys, Embiid, Tatum, Ja Morant, all these guys, right? They're going into this knowing the fact that they have the next 20 games and the future for going to the playoffs. They have to work their asses off right now. They really do. They really have to work hard. Right? So then to them they're like, you know what? Like I'm not gonna show out right now. Why do I have to show out? I'm not gonna show out. I'm not showing out. That's what they do. I'm not showing out. I'm not showing out. Why? It's an all-star game. We don't care if Team LeBron wins. Why would they care? Maybe you go back to East versus West. Even though I think the problem was with the East, the game started getting shittier, right? That's how they did this whole. We'll go team. We'll make now this year we made it live. All those things. The thing the NBA. One thing I would say they're trying to make it more entertaining. Because the players, they're saying, "Oh, it was the worst game ever." Jaylen Brown is like, "It was a boring game. It was this and that." To me, it's like Jaylen, you and Tatum decided to go 1-on-1 for 3 minutes. So what are we talking about? You were a culprit of that too. You did it with him. As much as we want to see guys compete and everything, it still happened. And it's all because of ring culture. It's all because we're so quick to be like, oh, we were so quick to compare. We're so quick these guys are tired of being compared. They just want to have highlight shots, highlight dunks, and kind of keep it moving. These guys are not really trying to go all out. They're really not. Right? At one point, when it was Magic Johnson who won the MVP, they were letting him do his thing. People are acting like, watch the game. They were letting him do his thing too. So everyone's trying to find a way to make it better. It's hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I just decided, I don't know, randomly, to go to the 1996 All Star Game. The score was Eastern Conference 129, West 118, 118. Now that's a high score for 1996. It's a freaking high score. This is the hand check. The score now is 180. So honestly, the evolution of the game, it is what it is. At that time, right? I'm gonna go to the East. We're gonna go Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. That is actually a very stacked lineup. Very stacked. I'm gonna give you guys names who you guys do not know. Terrell Brandon. Do you have no idea who that is? Reggie Miller, you do because he's a commentator. That's all he is. Juwan Howard, you guys don't know who that is. That's 5'5". Glenn Rice, crazy with the handles. Vin Baker, good player too. Alonzo Mourning was good for Miami. Patrick Ewing as well. Those are your all-star team for the East. Okay. At the end of the day, if you look at the minutes everyone played, it was the starting unit that all played 20 plus minutes. Okay. 20 plus minutes. Michael Jordan was 8 of 11. You think they're really playing defense on Michael Jordan? Shaquille had 25 points, okay? And looking at it, Michael Jordan was the MVP. It feels like Shaq should have won that MVP. That's just my thoughts. And the Western Conference, Sean Kemp, Jason Kidd, young Jason Kidd, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Olajuwon. The bench, the West was stacked. They had Malone and Stockton, Mutombo, Sean Elliott, David Robinson, Mitch Richmond, and Gary Payton. Like West was stupid stacked. So they must have competed, but arguably, if this was going down now, you wouldn't have as much. Like even though we had a few bigs, the bigs like they were giving it to Shaq to post. They were giving it to Shaq to do his thing. All these guys, all their stat lines, they were all still shooting a field goals of like their average field goal was 50%, which is still pretty crazy. You know, with Penny Hardaway had 18 points, 75%, 50% shooting three. Like it happens. I don't know what people want. It happens. So to me, no matter what, like the All Star game is meant to be an All Star game. It's meant for guys to have fun, to mostly compete in the fourth quarter. Probably there was more defense back in the day, but these guys don't want to play defense. They're trying to win a title. All they're trying to win a title because if Chris Paul doesn't win a title this year, you guys are gonna talk so much trash about him. There can only be one winner. Everyone says there only be one winner. If Durant goes to Phoenix and doesn't win a title this year, people say okay, he has 3 more years. But still, it'd be like Chris Paul doesn't have a lot of time. The Lakers don't make the playoffs. You guys are gonna shit on LeBron and AD. You're gonna keep shitting on these players. So no wonder why these guys don't want to, go so hard because when they go hard and they get shitted on, everyone shits on them. Now, yes, it's a part of their job, so to speak. It's a part of the narrative. It's a part of the reason why they do all this. It's a part of it all. Like that's what comes with being such a star. It is, right? But if they were being competitive and playing defense, okay, playing defense, actual defense, some of y'all wouldn't enjoy that much. You want Dame to shoot it from half court. Dame does it in regular game, but you want Dame to shoot from half court. You want to see Ja have a crazy dunk. This is my guy, Pascal Siakam. I want him to play more. But do you want Pascal Siakam to just be actually doing spin moves on you guys? Actually asking for the ball in the post if he has a mismatch? Do you really want to see DeMar DeRozan hitting jumpers all day? Some of you guys don't want to see it. Some of the fans don't want. They want them to have fun. Yes, they're not playing any defense. They're not. It's shitty. And Michael Malone says the worst basketball game, and everyone's asking, how do you fix it? How do you fix it? Well, I'm pretty sure Michael Malone doesn't want to play Jokic 40 minutes in an All-Star game, right? I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to do that. I'm pretty sure Missoula loved seeing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown go crazy, but didn't really want Jason Tatum to play so much minutes. Even though that was his coach in the All-Star game too, but he's like, okay, Jason played like all the fourth because it's like, hey coach, I'll just beat the records. Okay, well, no one's playing defense. I'm good with that. But if people are playing defense, you think he would play Jaylen Brown that much minutes, or you think he'd play Jason Tatum that much minutes? You think he would want another coach to play his guy that much minutes? LeBron literally did not play the second half. LeBron James, who they try to make this all-star all about, he didn't even play. Giannis didn't. Giannis played literally like 10 seconds. And they let him score. Because like, yeah, he's going to sit out. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew Giannis was going to sit out. They respected the fact that he suited up and he scored. Boom. That's it. Sat down. Because he's hurt. Look at all the guys we missed. We missed Zion. We missed Steph. We missed KD. We missed Booker. We were missing guys. Guys who'd even make the squad. Harden. Kawhi. We missed so much guys this year. Right? And it's like, if you want to see the best players play, some of our best players are injured. And as they're on this game, they didn't want to play. Jimmy Butler's like, I get to rest and go home and sleep. It's fun and all, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. These guys want to do all this work. I'm telling you, they don't want to do all this work. Not when they're trying to chase a title. Not when if they don't make it to the freaking finals, you guys are crapping on them. So you know what? They're going to stay hyper-focused. They're going to make sure their stats are good for the regular season. and make sure they hopefully make an All NBA. They want to be an All Star, like JJ Redick said. They want to be an All Star. They want you to name them as an All Star. That's cool. Just name me as an All Star. But I'm not trying to go balls to the wall for this stuff, and then with the potential of getting injured and ruin my potential contract. Why do I gotta do that for me? No one talks about this. Kemba Walker played like darn near close to 40 minutes when he was an All Star starter. Darn near 40 minutes. The man wasn't the same sense. Check the records. Wasn't the same sense. Why do all that? I'm not trying to do all that. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's what happened. That's what happened. You know what? I'm gonna do a two-parter. I said I was gonna talk too much, but I did. I'm gonna stop it now. I'm just gonna do this is my part one of my NBA conversation. And my part two would just be about the Raptors in general. But overall, like I'm saying, there's so much factors to why the All Star game is what it is. But everyone, you know, it is what it is. We all want to see. I'm okay with them doing it for the first 2 quarters. I don't care. I do want to have fun. I'm eating my pizza. I want to have fun watching you guys do whatever. I want DeMar to do well. I want Pascal to do well. In the fourth quarter, I would like to see like then ramp up the defense, have actual stops and all that stuff. Like I do want to see that. This year we didn't see it. I feel like the past few years we did see it. But this year we didn't see it. We didn't see the competitive nature at the end. We really just saw Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell try to go crazy. While the only person in the East that was actually generally trying, in my estimation, was Kyrie Irving. He was generally trying to win, and like I felt like no one else was, and everyone was like booing Kyrie, of course because of all the shit that he said, which makes sense. Please don't cheer Carmelo then. Whatever, totally different situation and subject, but don't get why you're cheering one and not whatever. Um, Google it if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. In saying that, and saying it all Star Weekend was fun. How you change it is some of my ideas. You do like divisions. Maybe we do go back to the conferences. You pick whatever players you can. You compete. Do maybe a tournament style, maybe a one-on-one style. But one-on-one guys are not going to do it either because they don't want to be like if I'm John Moran. Do I really want to see if Jason Tatum can beat me? Like I don't want to see all that. I don't want to do all that. Like some players are competitive one-on-one. Some of them don't want to be one-on-one. They just don't want that. That's not in their nature. If Jason Tatum loses to Jaylen Brown, then people are going to ask themselves, is Jaylen Brown really the star? Is he the number one guy? Maybe that would happen. So you don't want to see all that. I think sometimes you just want the game to be the game. Also, Jaylen Brown also tried to for LeBron's team. Jaylen Brown and Kyrie that really tried it. I think Joel Embiid did well as well. I think out of that and the third and fourth thing, even beginning that whole second half, I said LeBron's team did not want to play, and I didn't really comment on LeBron's choice and Giannis. I think Giannis played it smart. That was smart. You get Dame first. Dame is the number one guy you get. Of course, you get Dame first. You don't. LeBron's not getting Drew Holiday. You get Dame first. And I thought Dame or Donovan Mitchell was gonna. If I had to pick one, I thought I was gonna pick one of those two guys from either side to actually get it. I didn't even not even either side. I just thought one of those two guys were gonna get it, but ended up not. Kind of weird that Luka and Jokic were like some of the final picks. Well, I think ultimately it's an All-Star game. Jokic is doing all these dime passes. I thought that was nice. You just let Jokic do his thing where he just passes to a bunch of guys. But the one thing LeBron didn't do is he didn't get shooters. He got a bunch of young guys who are going to outrun everyone, but he didn't get shooters. And I think that's what he should have focused more on, right? Get the Jason Tatum so you can shoot. Getting Joel Embiid doesn't really make a lot of sense. But you get a Jason Tatum. But that's it. Make sure you guys comment. Subscribe. Like I said, there's a second part coming soon when I just talk about Raptors. Peace, and I will talk to you guys again.